Some things that I still like, for example, I like sex or good food, some other things. Could that be blocking me from, like realization, or it's not that? It's okay, like it's not business.
See how simply you can accept that you like food or sex.
Huh?
How simply you can accept that. It's okay.
Yes.
The only thing that you can call as a block is the thing that you do not acknowledge. So you are blocking. That is the block. You are blocking the acknowledgement. One has as an offshoot of Prakriti, as a current in the whole flow of Prakriti, one has all the right to like good food, like good sex, like this and that, be entitled to his likes and dislikes. Be honest. Be honest. What was this? Good sex. Now don't call it love and commitment. Be honest. What was it? Good food. Now don't say it was a great spiritual experience. What was it? It was a good intestinal experience. It was a good experience of the tongue. Now don't say it satisfied my soul.
But that would still be desires, and that would be still acting out of desires.
Let the desires be there. What's so wrong with desires?
I don't know. The books say desires lead to attachment.
Desires must be acknowledged as desires, and then they lose their sting. So when she asks, darling, what do I mean to you? You must say, body, nice body, flesh. That is honesty. That is honesty. Now, if the relationship has to drop, it will drop. But you must be extremely honest. Huh? In fact, even saying body is disguised, generalized dishonesty. You must specifically mention the body part that you fantasize, that you love. That's what she means to most men, right? That is honesty. Now what is to drop will get dropped.
So there's a big thing in spirituality about the sex energy, transforming the sex energy, and all this.
Sex energy simply means the energy to continue. Sex means procreation. Procreation means continuation in time. That's all. Nothing complicated about it. Nothing complicated about it. Sexual energy, all libido, is just about the ego's urge to keep existing. Even after the demise of the body, you want to continue in some way. You want kids. That is why sex is so pleasurable.
That's ego, right? Ego wants to continue.
So when sexual energy is being talked of, just take it as ego, nothing else.
But on the level of Prakriti, in the expression of Prakriti, that's Anusha also talked. This same energy which express.
Prakriti is time. Time will continue. So sex will continue. As long as this body is there, sex will be there. Now what do you want to do with it? Just take sex as sex. Do not take sex as a tantric kriya or something. It is sex. Sex.
If this body has experience, so that what in the male becomes a compulsive energy that wants to express and have that pleasure, can also that same energy can be experienced in a different way, which is more actually more deeply.
It is not that same energy. It is energylessness. Energy would always be a disturbance. either active disturbance or potential disturbance. The witness has no energy. Only Prakriti has more and more energy.
Many times when we are feeling ourselves to be a person on the journey, we might have experiences. It could be very wonderful, beautiful experiences, very subtle and expansive, wonderful. And then we identify that with enlightenment, spirituality, and we want to again get there, make it permanent, stable, but it's an energy phenomenon.
All false. And you wouldn't have called it beautiful had you not been coming from a particular cultural and spiritual background. Remember, what you're calling as nice, beautiful is not absolutely nice and beautiful. It is nice and beautiful to you as a conditioned person.
But an animal has sex pleasure. It doesn't have a concept about it. It's intrinsically pleasurable. And the human body also has intrinsic pleasures. It can be a sex pleasure, or it could be a more refined pleasure.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be due to conditioning. It's just intrinsic.
No, the pleasure that the animal gets is physical conditioning. It is not social, but it is there in the genes. It is there in every cell of the body. So it is physical conditioning.
So in the same way, some energetic experiences, even if we have no expectation that such a thing is possible, can be.
And that would just be physical conditioning. Nothing more than that. Just like good food. The tongue loves it. That is the level of all great spiritual bliss.
But I'm just saying that one of the common traps that I experience is that we might label it a more refined type of pleasure, and we try to get more of it.
The entire world is chasing that, and all the shops are selling that. Come to us, we will give you spiritual experience. Huh? And that's the cash counter. Spiritual experience. Somebody experiences blue lights. Somebody experiences a hastening of heartbeat. Somebody experiences some lotus sprouting from here or some other part of the body.
But is there not also potentially an ongoing refinement of the expression of the Prakriti, the Shakti? No? Like sitting here, we could be taking pleasure from watching sport on TV, drinking beer.
Same thing.
Having sex.
Same thing.
Or we could be taking pleasure from
same thing, sir.
hanging out with angels. And
morality has taught us that sipping beer is at a lower level than talking of angels and demons and divinity.
or experiencing angels perhaps.
Now, experiencing your girlfriend is no lower than experiencing the divine angels.
So a piece of dog shit is no more intrinsically viable than a diamond or whatever. It's equally divine. And yet, we would prefer to eat nice food than a piece of dog shit.
We won't prefer. The body knows. In fact, if to the body dog shit is more useful, the body will know. But you will deprive the body of dog shit. You will say, doggy poo. How can I have it? Sometimes the body does need doggy poo.
If you're caught in an island or something like that,
The body will know.
nobody will ask for it, but you deny
I don't know.
it. Keep searching, you might get an apple someday. How can you eat food?
Divine apple.
Like a Buddhist, and they do these things, like eat shit and all these strange things, what we consider strange. Or
They are only doing what any man free of concepts would anyway do.
But it might be a concept for them.
That can happen with anybody.
Such a person is very dangerous to preconceived ideas of right.
Yes. And that is why you would not allow yourself to be there if you think.
He dreads attachment as he would a serpent. Again. One of the fears that I've experienced in my life, not so much now, but at one time it was a morbid fear, was like, again it's a lack of trust, but if we fully let go in sex without any consideration, then the natural consequence will sooner or later be that we'll get a baby. Like sex is for procreation. And I had a morbid, it seems like Gautama the Buddha called his son Rahul, right? The fetter, the bondage. And here what he says, he dreads attachment as he would a serpent. And so that, we don't know what, like you said, we don't know what will happen actually if we fully surrender. But the fear could be there, as in my case, that to fully surrender will result in great bondage, that we need some measure of control.
No, it is not then a measure of control. I don't know why you should call it control.
Well, like, for example, not to come inside the woman, or to...
You realize that.
Or to wear a condom.
Yes, but you realize that. It is not a matter of control. You realize that this would mean a continuation of the same thing, the same story. You'll have to then role play. You'll have to then exist in the form of the sun. It is a realization, no?
I think he's trying to say that he cannot completely let go, and be in the moment and completely be. He has to think about in the back of his mind.
No, but the thing is, I fully understand that. But what he is talking of is a point where Prakriti is trying to assert its continuation.
Right.
Pregnancy might set in.
Pregnancy what?
If you inseminate a woman,
Yes.
what you get is a baby.
Yes.
He's talking about that particular point.
Yes.
Is that point not the same as the point that you encounter when you are trying to do anything that relates to future? What is a baby? A baby represents something that will grow, mature. It represents the future.
Yes.
And we come across these instances of the future in so many other cases also.
It represents commitment and responsibility.
In the future.
Attachment.
In the future. In the future. So it represents that you will have to remain what you are. It represents continuity. It represents that you will have to stay in the stream. That is what it represents. But why must one take that moment as special? That moment keeps coming to us in 1,000 ways. Does it not come? Where there is a possibility that if you take one particular action at this time, you will have to bear the consequences in the future. And to bear the consequences, you will have to exist in the future. Why is that any special? Just as you deny remaining the same, because you have seen that remaining the same only means suffering. Future means remaining the same. So you deny the future because you have seen that the future means suffering. Similarly, there also you deny.
I spaced out for a second. I missed your last sentence.
I'm saying just because it is bodily, gross, blown up, overhyped, and it has got something to do with that excitement moment of orgasm, it is nothing special. We continuously keep coming to these moments where Prakriti is calling the Purush to become a part of the stream, and the Purush remains in its original pristine nature. No, I don't want any of this. Now this is not control, this is just being yourself. The womb is calling. The womb, all that it wants is one sperm cell. The wound is calling. In the form of the womb, the future is calling. The Purush is saying, no, sorry, time is not for me. That's all.
And yet in mythology, or what we take as mythology, Lord Shiva had kids also.
You see, Lord Shiva, when you're talking of Parvati and kids and all those, Lord Shiva had an infinite number of kids. And in fact, Lord Shiva married not once but many times. But when somebody talks about this, I say you must distinguish between Shankar and Shiv. All the mythology must be attributed to Shankar. Shiv is an abstraction. Shiv is the essence. Shiv has no kids. Let Shankar and Parvati have kids. Now, if the question then is whether a natural man, whether an enlightened man would ever have kids, because you started off by saying that Buddha called his son as Rahul, the chain. So is that an ideal that the enlightened man should never have kids? Or is it possible that like Shankar, he may have kids, or like Ram, or like... The answer is that the question is trying to set up a model. Kids may be there, kids may not be there. Kids may be there, kids may not be there. If kids are there, nothing special about it. If kids are not there, no need to...
But for the mind, the fear of family life, in a sense, obligates one to be very much involved with the world. That's perhaps...
So you're not afraid of kids. You are afraid of continuing. You are afraid of...
As I am.
As I am. You are afraid of the time that you'll have to give, the commitment, the responsibility and all those
that
things.
My suffering as I am will be compounded even.
What if, in spite of the kids being there physically, you don't have to undergo this suffering? Then nothing will be a problem, right?
That would be the real road test.
That may happen, that may not happen. Both are okay.